Baldur's Gate, Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage. There are so many AAA games out right now and more are coming like GTA 6. And for the latest games, the latest hardware will always provide the best experience, which is why JOI came up with this JOI Legendary Intel Core i9 14900K. And yes, it has the official name in its processor, but is all of this worth the money? Now, before we go into the specs of this powerful gaming machine, why would you spend this much for a pre-built PC? Just buy the parts and build it yourself, right? Well, of course, save money lah, right? But wait, don't get your boxes in a bunch because I'll give you very quick 3 reasons why. First is hardware compatibility. Not every gamer is up to date with the latest and greatest in the ever-changing tech community. And it can get really complicated if you're not used to it, like what should you get? DDR4 or DDR5? What megahertz should you pick? Gen 3 or Gen 4 PCIe for SSD? And then you get everything and then you realize that something doesn't fit, and even worst of all, it doesn't even turn on, and that could be very frustrating. Which brings me to point 2, which is time. Now, if you're not used to it, like I mentioned earlier, it may take you tens of hours of research. And say if you buy the parts online, even days for the item to arrive to you. And that is if the item is not dead on arrival, which I'm sure it happened to you before because it did happen to me before. Or what if your item gets stolen because your delivery guy just decided to just leave it at your doorstep and then you open the door and bye-bye. Then as for point number 3 though, is for you to like and hit the subscribe button. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, a nice big thumbs up would be very much appreciated, and thank you very much in advance. Now back to the actual third point, which is peace of mind. Now when you buy a pre-built PC like this, you can just take it out, connect it to the monitor, keyboard and mouse, and you're all set. Now the best part is that unlike certain manufacturers, this may have custom parts like a weirdly shaped motherboard made of their own PC lineup. Now these are all the off-the-shelf items that are user replaceable and should be more sustainable in long run. And they even gave you all the extra parts of the boxes to actually take home. Now warranty wise, you get 3 years from JOI themselves. And of course this is for the hardware, but keep in mind that something like the PSU does still have the 7-year warranty from the manufacturer, and some of the PC makers only give you just 1-year warranty, so kudos to them. So yeah, that is some of the reasons why you might consider a pre-built computer like this. Now let's talk about the specs inside of this beastly machine. The processor that we have here is the Intel Core i9 14900K. It is arguably the best consumer Intel chip that you can get right now, which has 8 P cores, 6 E cores and 32 threads. Now this particular chip turbos up to 6 GHz, so performance is definitely not an issue, especially for the target market for this particular PC. Now this chip will able to do so with the Z790GB motherboard and a rather large Corsair H15i, which comes in an awesome LCD screen. Then the included RAM is a 32GB DDR5 at 6000 MHz, 1TB of NVMe Gen 4 SSD with 850 watts of power, and yes, not forgetting the Gigabyte RTX 4070 Ti for all you gamers out there. Now all of these parts are top quality brands like FSP, Corsair, Gigabyte, so no weird AliExpress parts over here. And if you want to know the specific brands of each part, you can check out the link down below. So what do you think of this system so far, especially from an aesthetic point of view? Join our Discord server, which is linked down below, and we can discuss more with our community there. So what are my thoughts on this system? Now first of all, there will be no benchmark tests over here since there are more specialized channels or websites out there for you to test each of these parts out. But I will tell you my pure experience actually using this PC for the past week. Now my experience was unsurprisingly awesome. Like I mentioned before, just unpack, plug your peripherals into the PC and we are good to go. Now for my case, the monitor that I plugged in is into the Samsung G9 Neo, which is a monitor that I've already personally have, and overall it performs magnificently as an overall gaming setup. And once again, this aesthetics of the PC and the monitor does match very well with the color matching between the motherboard to the GPU and of course the case itself. And every part matches perfectly and also very aesthetically pleasing, especially if you're a fan of white like me. So definitely I would give this an A+ when it comes to the overall aesthetics, especially when it comes to this overall setup. Now, other than the fact that this ultra-wide screen is really wide and nice for gaming, but another reason why I chose this monitor is the fact that it has NVIDIA G-Sync support, and with all the AAA games that I've tested, I get very playable rates at high or ultra settings depending on the game, and I have to give a special highlight to the Intel Core i9 14900K over here. To put it simply, for me, this is a beast of a processor. Because imagine multitasking when you're gaming, having Discord on one side when you're gaming, and if you're a streamer with OBS in the background, for example, it is smooth sailing all around. Now, the performance cores and the efficient cores works together seamlessly to give the best performance and efficiency. So based on my experience, I've never experienced any lag whatsoever. Well, what do you expect from a flagship CPU, right? Now, Intel also has something called the Intel Trait Director, which helps the OS, in this case the Windows 11 Pro, to optimize and divide workloads between which core is the best at delivering the task. Now, the chip itself could support RAM up to DDR5 5600 mega transfers per second, which means that you can actually run RAM at a higher speed that we have over here, but honestly speaking, this is already plenty fast. Now, if all of this information is getting lost over here, don't worry, because we have a written recap at our website at www.adamlobo.tv for you to refresh your memory. Now, of course, if you are a tinkerer and you want to try to overclock your PC to get the utmost performance, you can actually use Intel's Extreme Tuning utility for the overall tuning to unlock the best potential that your CPU has to offer. Now, since this is the top of the line CPU, it also means that if you're still wanting for more performance, there'll be no real CPU bottleneck at this particular moment for gaming. And of course, you can get a higher performing graphics card or a newer generation or later to step up the gaming performance even more. Now, this of course holds true for power users or content creators out there that wants to use this PC to do work on softwares like DaVinci Resolve and, believe it or not, Adobe Premiere Pro. On this system was a really good experience. Yeah, Adobe Premiere Pro performing great.
Are you serious?
Now, it was such a good experience that I get less frustrated about the software always lagging around, which overall got my work done fast and very efficiently as well. So there you have it, my experience with the JOI Legendary PC. It is indeed a widely capable PC with such an aesthetic appeal. I mean, just from an aesthetic point of view, just look at it. Now, I find it hard not to like what they have going on in this PC. Now, for the price of 12,599 ringgit, this PC is definitely worth the money that you're spending. Wait, what? You are surprised at the price? That rhymed. Well, if you actually individually add the prices of each parts at your favorite shopping app like Lazada or Shopee, it basically comes almost at the same price or even higher at the time of the recording of this video, and that is without shipping fees.
By 5.
Because all in all, you're getting a wicked PC at basically at a cheaper price, not to mention the labor and the time that you're saving as well. Also, there are other CPU options available in their configurator, which ultimately could make this particular PC cheaper for you. So if you're interested in getting yourself one, I've dropped links down below for you to check it out.